Today, I'm going to be looking at the top 50 Pokemon cards from Sword and Shield and rank them based off of their investment potential right now. We are currently coming fresh off of an insane Sword and Shield alt art frenzy where we've seen almost every meaningful card get a jump in price. But for now, it seems that we have came back down to earth and it's time to see which cards are still overpriced and which cards are actually good no matter the price. We have 6 tiers we will be ranking them in. The Holy Grail, you need it in a 10, buy raw and hold, if you have it, sell it now, overpriced, and a classic. Dog Water! Can we actually find a Dog Water card in the top 50 cards from Sword and Shield? Is the Umbreon Alt Art VMAX from Evolving Skies the Holy Grail of the era? And are we just in a break in action, or is everything about the free fall? All these will be answered and more, and this is a long one, guys, so let's jump into this one. Let's get spicy. Alrighty, man, let's get this party started. No Diddy, of course. Up first, we have the Mew V alt art from Fusion Strike, and this bad boy is coming in at $39.50 ungraded, 1 sell per day. A grade 8 is $35, and a PSA 10 is $138 at 1 sell per day. Honestly, guys, I don't know if this card is good enough to just have it raw. I think it is significantly better in a 10. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide it into need it in a 10, baby. And up next, we have the Snorlax VMAX Rainbow coming in at $34.50 ungraded, 1 sell per day. A grade 8 is $25, and a PSA 10 is coming in at $84 at 2 sales per week. And honestly, guys, in my humble opinion, I think this thing is undervalued and it should be worth a lot more. This is a good pickup. Guys, this is going to be the first one that I'm going to throw it into buy raw and hold because I think it is severely undervalued. Okay, guys, we are looking at the Origin Form Dialga Vstar, the gold card from Pokemon Crown Zenith, and it is coming in at $50 ungraded, 1 sell per day. A grade 8 is $43, and a PSA 10 is $142 at 1 sell per day. We're gonna look at it as an individual card and not as the entire picture. If you have the entire picture, I think that is an excellent investment because it's gonna be worth some money later on. I'm gonna say with this one, I think you need this one in a 10. I don't think this is one you should buy right now. I think that it could go a little bit lower, but then again, maybe not. But it's not the biggest gold that we're looking at today from Crown Zenith. How I look at the prices, honestly, is I look at like the bubble that they're in, okay? If they're from $50 to $80, how much money are you gonna lose or gain buying within that bubble? It's not a whole lot. Obviously, you wanna buy as low as you can, but it's really, really hard to time the low and to time the high. So how I process things is I sell or buy within a bubble. Honestly, this bubble is pretty good to buy in, but I think that you could get this card at a 10 and it will serve you well in the future. And now we have the Zeraora V alt art from Chilling Reign, and it's coming in at $47 ungraded at 1 sell per day. A grade 8 is $36, and a PSA 10 is $110 at 3 sales per week. That's pretty solid. Obviously, a lot of the alt arts are on a downswing now. We've seen that crazy upswing, and now it's kind of free falling. It's kind of in like a price discovery mode, but on the downside instead of the upside. So it could keep going down. It could stay where it is. I don't see it going much lower than this though. For me, I think the Zeraora is a good one to buy raw and hold. I wouldn't sell it right now. I would have sold it 2 weeks ago. But right now at this point, I would definitely think it qualifies for me as a buy raw and hold. Now we're looking at the Single Strike Urshifu VMAX alt art from Battle Styles, and it's coming in at $35 ungraded, 1 sell per day. A grade 8 is $40, but a PSA 10 is $90 at 1 sell per week. So that's kind of interesting with the 1 sell per week. I don't see a whole lot of people just being sought after for this card. I think this thing is definitely gonna be a sell if you have it. I don't think you should buy it long term. I don't think you need it in a 10. I just don't see it performing well compared to the others. Now we're looking at the Blaziken VMAX Rainbow from Chilling Reign, and spoiler alert, Chilling Reign is featured heavy in today's video, and honestly, I think it's the second best set in Sword and Shield, and I'm shocked that more people aren't talking about it. It's almost weird. It's almost like a huge market manipulation that nobody's talking about, because I feel like Chilling Reign does not get brought up enough. I'm looking at prices for Chilling Reign. I mean, sleep packs are $9 for Chilling Reign. Some of the cards in here are absolutely incredible, so just be on the lookout for Chillin' Rain. It's a really good set. The Blaziken's coming in at $33 ungraded, 1 sale per day. I swear to God, these prices were different like a week ago. Grade 8, 17 bucks, that's horrible. And a PSA 10 is $57 at 1 sale per week. I do love the rainbows of Sword and Shield and Sun and Moon, quite frankly, but for some reason, the Blaziken, it's just not doing it for me. I think that this is a sell it if you have it, especially if you have it in a 10. I mean, obviously, if you hold it long enough, all these cards are going to be worth money, but we're just compared to all the cards here on screen. I don't think it'll perform as well as some of the others. And now we have the Rayquaza VMAX from Evolving Skies, and I'm going to try to be as unbiased as I can. Spoiler alert, I love Rayquaza, it's like top 3 for me. But anyway, this card's coming in at $38.50 ungraded, 1 sale per day. A grade 8 is 35 bucks, and a PSA 10 is $87 at 1 sale per day. 1 sale per day is really interesting, honestly, and at $87 for a 10, and man, honestly, the rainbows, I love the rainbows, I really do, and I feel like I cannot put one rainbow and sell it if you have it back to back. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this bad boy in buy raw and hold, and I swear to God it's not because it's Rayquaza. I just think the rainbow Rayquaza holds more weight than the Blaziken. Maybe I'm being biased, I swear I'm trying not to be, but that's how I feel. Leafeon Rainbow from Evolving Skies. This is coming in at $30 ungraded, 1 sale per day. A grade 8 is 19 bucks, and a PSA 10 is $75 at 2 sales per week. So the volume is a little bit higher than normal on some of these rainbows. The Rayquaza was a lot higher, but you get the drift. This thing coming in at $30. I'm not surprised. So I don't think any of these rainbows are overpriced. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, the $30 range is pretty solid for a rainbow from a set that is pretty difficult to get pulls from, and honestly to find packs at a relatively decent price, right? But with this particular card, I know it's an Eeveelution and it will hold weight. I think I'm gonna slide it into buy raw and hold. Shout out to my son, he loves Leafeon. And I'm just showing Blaziken all kinds of just dirt right here. I'm sorry, Blaziken. I actually really like Blaziken, but I just don't see it outperforming these two. Maybe I'm crazy. And now we have the Rainbow Sylveon VMAX from Evolving Skies, and it's coming in at $36 ungraded, 1 sale per day. A grade 8 is 28 bucks, and a PSA 10 is $80 at 3 sales per week. So honestly, the increase in volume, the price went up a little bit, 36 bucks raw. Honestly, guys, with the Sylveon, again, Eeveelution, I mean, Eeveelutions just sell. They always sell. I think that this is a good one to buy raw and hold. I don't see the rainbow prices dropping as insanely as the alt arts. They are dropping, but I don't think they're dropping as crazy as the alt arts. And some of these rainbows are harder to pull than the actual alt arts themselves. And now we have the Rainbow Charizard Vstar from Pokemon Brilliant Stars, and it's coming in at $50 ungraded, 1 sale per day. A grade 8 is 56 bucks, and a PSA 10 is $135 at 1 sale per day. Honestly, that's really solid. You know, this card blasted off in the beginning when this set first came out. It definitely came down to the ground. Honestly, I would put this in a buy raw and hold, because 50 bucks for a Rainbow Charizard, I mean, it's really, really good. I know it's not the Rainbow VMAX. This is the second Rainbow we've had, so I don't think it's going to be worth as much down the road as, say, the VMAX from Champion's Path. But it is a Charizard, it is a Rainbow. I think it's a no-brainer that you need it in a 10. Now we have one of my favorite cards from the Sword and Shield era. It is the Starmie V Trainer Gallery card from Pokemon Astral Radiance. This card is up a lot, actually, at $56 at 2 sales per day. A grade 8 is $47.50, and a PSA 10 is $185 at 1 sale per day. I think that this card could have easily been $50 to $60 the entire time it's been out. The fact that it's at $56, I think it's pretty fair price, honestly. But this thing at $185 at a PSA 10, I don't know if I'd buy it at that price, because I think they will drop some. But I definitely think that this is one you need in a 10. And now we have the Rainbow Umbreon VMAX from Evolving Skies, and it's coming in at $35 ungraded, 1 sale per day. A grade 8 is $35, and a PSA 10 is coming in at $90 at 1 sale per day. Honestly, this is another one I think is priced pretty fair, taking at how popular Umbreon is, how crazy the other Umbreon's going. And honestly, if you look at the pull rates, this Umbreon in particular is harder to pull than the actual alt art. So the fact that it's only $35 is kind of crazy. So for the Rainbow Umbreon, this is going to be the first rainbow that I'm going to throw it into Need It in a Tin, just because of how popular this Pokemon is. It will always be popular. It's been popular since the moment it came out, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. And now we have the Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX from Chilling Reign, and it's coming in at $50 ungraded, 1 sale per day. A grade 8 is $50, and a PSA 10 is $80 at 1 sale per week. Guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, this is one that I missed the bus on. I just didn't think this Pokemon was getting a lot of love. I mean, it's only up like 25, $30, so it's not like an insane amount of price action, but it's pretty decent for a card that honestly a lot of people really wasn't talking about, and now they are. With the recent events of all these Altarts just kind of plummeting, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think this card is overpriced. This card is like a $30 card. I just don't see the value being more than that for a little bit, just because the popularity is not there. Who's buying this thing unless they're just buying for the sake of Altarts? And I think that's what was happening with this card, is people were like, Altart frenzies, we gotta buy all the Altarts. And they just started buying these things for whatever people were putting it on for. And now we have the Galarian Zapdos V Altart from Chilling Reign, coming in at $50 ungraded, 1 sale per day. A grade 8 is $37, and a PSA 10 is $130 at 1 sale per day. So that's pretty solid. $50, I mean, it's a $50 card. I'll give it that. I thought this card would do a lot better early on and then kind of tamper off, but I mean, it's floating around this $50 range. I like that. I do like it. I don't think you should sell this one. This one's probably pretty good to hold on to. At $50, I mean, honestly, that's right at the tail end of the bubble. I don't really see this thing going lower than $50, so I'm gonna put this in buy raw and hold. And now we have the Mewtwo Vstar from Crown Zenith, coming in at $60 ungraded, 1 sale per day. A grade 8 is $53, and a PSA 10 is $165 at 1 sale per day. I like this card a lot. Obviously, anytime you have a card with said Charizard in it, obviously that plays a huge role. With the Mewtwo V-Star with the Charizard, and honest, maybe for me, this thing is hard to pull because we have yet to pull it, and I have opened a gazillion packs of Crown Zenith. I'm talking well into 2,000-3,000 packs, not even a question, and have not pulled this thing at all. Haven't even sniffed it. Well, I guess you don't really know if you did or not. Anyway, this thing for me, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in Need It in a Tin, just because the Charizard factor, for me, it's been hard to pull. Mewtwo, I think it's a really good card. You know, with this card, it took me forever to realize that there is not a letter, not a VMAX or anything after Snorlax. I always wondered why this card was worth so much money, taking it was just a gold Snorlax. And then I realized that it didn't have a V, it didn't have a VMAX. I don't know what's up with that. If you guys know the reasoning behind that, feel free to let me know down below, because I'm genuinely curious about that. But the Snorlax is coming in at $60 ungraded, 1 sale per day. A grade 8 is $65. A PSA 10 is $133 at 1 sale per day. This Snorlax is a no-brainer, Need It in a Tin. If it was just a Snorlax VMAX or Snorlax V, then I would say, maybe just a buy raw and hold, or maybe even overpriced at that point. But with this Snorlax, I think this is 100%. Get this bad boy in a tin, get it slabbed up, get it ready to rock and roll, because this thing is going to be worth something in the future, I think. That's how I'm handling it anyway. And now we're looking at the Arceus V-Star Gold from Crown Zenith, and it's also another part of the 4 little pictures there. It's coming in at $80 ungraded, 1 sale per day. A grade 8 is $62, and a PSA 10 is $175 at 1 sale per day. That's pretty good. Ooh, came to my mind. Maybe a lot of people are trying to complete the picture, and this is a card that they need. So honestly, maybe this is a good sell now, but buy later. Does that make sense? Like, maybe sell it now while it's sitting at $80 and buy if it drops back down into a $60 bubble. I'm gonna put it and sell it if you have it. No, I'm not. I say all that to tell you that I'm gonna put it in Need It in a Tin. I did call this one out a few months ago. This card is set up to not fail. We have the Galarian Rapidash V from Chilling Reign, coming in at $50 ungraded, 1 sale per day. Grade 8 is $45. A PSA 10 is $105 at 3 sales per week. This one, for me, I did call it out. I would say I still wouldn't sell this thing, because it did not get a crazy bounce from all the Althart craziness that's going on. I think this thing, with it being a freaking unicorn, is a fantastic card to put it in buy raw and hold, because I think this card is going to be solid, and a $50 card with what I believe to have this much potential is huge. And now we have the Rapid Strike Urshifu Vmax from Battle Styles, and this thing, I know I was ragging on the other one earlier. I love this card. I really do love this card. This is a chase for me. Obviously the Tyranitar is as well, but this is the second chase for me from Battle Styles. That and then Empoleon. I like Empoleon. Anyway, this card's coming in at $60 ungraded, 1 sale per day. A grade 8 is $60, and a PSA 10 is $130 at 1 sale per week. This card, I think, is severely undervalued. I think this card, this is a victim of just buy every alt art you can find. So I'm gonna throw this one into buy raw and hold it at a $60 bubble. I really do like this card in this spot. Just like the Rapidash, where we won on that one, I missed the train on this one. I knew this card was good. I was shocked by how low the price was, but I just didn't see any positive price action. And this one might have well been a little bit of the alt art craze. I mean, it's only a $55 card ungraded at 1 sale per day, but this thing did get a little bit of traction, if you would. Grade 8 is $34, and a PSA 10, that's crazy, is $143 at 2 sales per week. That's really good. This one, I'm gonna have a little caveat to it. So I wouldn't sell this thing raw. It's actually kind of funny, okay? I would sell this thing in a 10 if I had it, but I would buy it raw because it's a bird. I mean, it's the same thing as Zapdos. Articuno has a fan base. So I'm gonna put it and sell it if you have it, but this is with the parentheses of NA10. PSA 10, okay? If it's not a PSA 10, if it's not graded card, I wouldn't sell it. I would buy it actually, but I'm gonna put it here. And now we have the Leafeon V alt art from Evolving Skies. It's coming in at $71 ungraded, 1 sale per day. Grade 8 is $75. A PSA 10 is $160 at 1 sale per day. So this card, I mean, it got a nice little jump from $45 all the way up to $80, so it doubled its price pretty much. I'm sure people were buying and selling for $95, $100. So this thing got squeezed out of everything. But I will say this: anytime you have a parabolic jump like this, and for Pokemon, I think this is a decent. It's not Umbreon V alt art jump, but it's a decent jump, right? When you have a jump like this, and then it doesn't immediately fall back down to its last low of $40, and it only drops down to here. What we could be doing right now with all of these alt arts, not just this one, is we raised up and now we dropped back to a real life kind of thing, and then we're just going to trade sideways. We could trade sideways a lot like we did here, where it kind of went up, it kind of retraced, and then we traded sideways. It started going down, and it pretty much, honestly, this is going to be for my investing people. I mean, just looking at it just from here on this really make-believe chart, it almost kind of hit like a falling wedge, where it kind of fell, boom, hit, and then skyrocketed up. So honestly, it was almost like a perfect storm of what was happening. I think this thing is not as good as the Leafeon Vmax, okay? This thing's at $70. That's relatively not a lot of money for an alt art that's this hard to pull. I mean, think about how many dollars in packs. I mean, that's 7 packs of Evolving Skies if you find them at $10 a pack that you would have to pull that in. I don't like your chances. So for me, I would just go ahead and buy it raw. I don't see this card maybe go, it could fall all the way back down to that $40, but it's going to stay in the $40 to $70 range. Once again, what's 30 bucks? Now we got the Charizard Classic from Pokemon Celebrations. This bad boy is coming in at 68 bucks ungraded, 2 sales per day. A grade 8 is $67 and a PSA 10 is $160 at 2 sales per day. Well, it started raining, started storming, and my pyro went out, so I had to remake the list. So if you look at the bottom and they're all out of whack, that's because my pyro went out and everything shut off. Luckily, I stopped recording right before it happened to take a little break, so I got all the footage from the first part. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Anyway, the Charizard from Celebrations. As bad as I want to put this thing in overpriced, and honestly, I looked at the price for a base set Charizard just to see, because that's the comp, right? A base set Charizard Raw, Hollow, of course, you can get for $200. This one, you can get for $60. So in a weird way, a lot of people are probably making up with, you know, I don't want to spend $200 on a base set Charizard at the moment, so why don't I go ahead and buy this Celebrations one? So for me at 60 bucks, I think it's in a bubble about 60 to 80. This thing is probably decent to have in a 10. I think this thing is solid to have at a 10 just because it's a Charizard, honestly. Now we have the shiny Charizard VMAX from Shining Fates, and honestly, as a Blastoise guy, it pains me to say, it's one of my favorite cards from Sword and Shield. I really do love this card. Every time we pull it, I just get a little tickle. It's awesome. Yes, I said tickle. The Charizard VMAX is coming in at $72 ungraded, 2 sales per day. A grade 8 is $73, and a PSA 10 is $160 at 2 sales per day. Guys, I don't know how you're gonna take this one. This one might pee a lot of people off. This one might be like, hey, duh. But I'm gonna put this card in the holy grail of Sword and Shield, and I'm gonna take a minute and explain why. The shiny Charizard VMAX is an excellent card. For a lot of people, like myself, this was the card that brought them back into Pokemon. Not the shiny Charizard from Hidden Fates, not the Rainbow Charizard from Burning Shadows, not the Rainbow Charizard from Champion's Path, but the shiny Charizard from Shining Fates. I think this card is going to be very sought after. Now, the only argument really against this card and why the price is the way it is, there's a lot of them out there. But I'm telling you, as it goes with anything, they will dwindle down and it will end up with the investors. That's how it always happens. That's how all these cards, they end up in the investors. Yes, there's going to be some collectors that held on to them and kept them. I just don't see it happening that as often as you think it's going to happen. I think this is going to end up in a lot of investors' hands, and this at a 10 specifically is definitely a holy grail for me. I think 20 years you're going to look back and be like, man, I really wish I'd have kept that shiny Zard. Hot take here. I like this card more than I like the VMAX. I know. So we have the Rayquaza V Alt Art from Evolving Skies, and this thing is coming in at $115 ungraded, 1 sale per day. A grade 8 is 90 bucks, and a PSA 10 is about $250, 1 sale per day. And as you can see, it is definitely a victim of the Alt Art craze, but have we found a new bottom at 115, 110, something like that? And are we going to trade sideways? This card could do wonders in the future. Believe it or not, this is actually one of the cards that still haunts us from Evolving Skies. Matter of fact, we didn't pull either one of the Alt Arts from Evolving Skies. We pulled all the Eeveelutions besides the Leafeon VMAX, no Rayquazas as well. So with this Rayquaza right here, I think this one is it's a little expensive right now, because I need more data on what's going to happen in the next few months, because as we're crashing down, or is this just like the first leg down? Or are we going to double top kind of and then go plummeting? So it could be a lot of things at play here. But as of right now, I think it's too expensive to buy raw and hold. I think this is one though that you need in a 10. And now we have another card that I really do enjoy. This is the Glaceon V from Evolving Skies, and it's coming in at $80 ungraded, 1 sale per day. A grade 8 is 67 bucks, and a PSA 10 is $180 at 1 sale per day. So this thing, it doubled in price pretty much. I'd say at one point it definitely doubled. I would say it doubled. I'm sure people were buying it for 90 bucks or so at one point. It just probably, the price action probably didn't get caught. And now this thing is kind of coming down again. 80 bucks. I think it was a Alt Art craze. I think this thing qualifies exactly how the Leafeon V Alt Art is. I think it is a good pickup to buy and hold. I don't see this thing dropping below $60. I don't see it going above probably $100 for at least a little bit. So it's in a bubble of 60 to 100. Again, what's 30, 40 bucks? Now we have the Sylveon V Alt Art from Evolving Skies, which, fun fact, this is the one we pulled the most out of all the Eeveelutions Alt Arts. This thing's coming in at $75 ungraded, 1 sale per day. A grade 8 is 70 bucks. A PSA 10 is $175 at 1 sale per day. Again, guys, this is one that I think this is a decent one at $75 to buy raw and hold. All of these are almost in the same like realm, besides the Umbreon V, because, you know, Rev, but that's okay. Guys, this is another one that I missed the boat on. This is the Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX coming from Chilling Reign. It's coming in at $75 ungraded at 1 sale per day. A grade 8 is 40 bucks. And a PSA 10 though is $170 at 2 sales per week. That's a little high for me, but it's not terrible. This thing got a decent jump. A decent jump for sure. Honestly, it's kind of leveling out. It actually hasn't like plummeted yet, so this thing could be on the verge of dropping like a rock. After looking at the chart and this thing not really having a huge price action down, there's either one or two things. One, it's not going to. Two, it's going to. So that's pretty much what it is. For me, right now, I think this card is a good candidate to sell right now, but maybe buy again at a future date. And now we have the Rainbow Chunky Boy from Vivid Voltage, and man, what a ride this card has been on. This thing is coming in at $110 ungraded at 1 sale per day. A grade 8 is $90 and a PSA 10 is $230 at 1 sale per day. And honestly, this thing has not had crazy price action at all. It has honestly had crazy price action on the downtrend. I mean, this thing started out at $460, plummeted to $76, went back up to $360 because why not? And then it just slowly falling down until we hit that mark right there and it started going up. Is this a freaking 2-year falling wedge? I don't know. 3-year falling wedge. If it is, this thing could have explosive to the upside. For me though, either way, this thing is definitely worth having in a 10. I'm gonna put it that you need it in a 10. And here we are. The one card in Sword and Shield outside of the Rainbow Charizard from Champion's Path that I think I want the most. The Aerodactyl V Alt-Art from Lost Origins. This thing is coming in at $109 ungraded, 1 sale per day. A grade 8, $108, and a PSA 10 is $300 at 1 sale per day. That's a little high for me. It's actually down $2 or $3. I mean, this thing has it's kind of leveling out. We'll have to see. It didn't go up a whole lot. I mean, that's a good buying spot. That is a really good buying spot at $90. It's hard to tell if we just hit a new price point in the alt arts for Sword and Shield. It kind of looks that way just because of how harder it is to find decent Sword and Shield. So I think this thing could do pretty well. I think it's a little high to buy it raw and hold, but I think it is a good candidate. If you have it, go ahead and get it graded. Just depends. You can find good deals on these cards if you look hard enough. But for the Aerodactyl, I think you should have it in a 10. Now we have the Espeon V from Evolving Skies coming in at $85, 2 sales per day. A grade 8 is $76 and a PSA 10 is $200 at 1 sale per day. And this thing had ridiculous price action. I mean, you're talking $50 in 2023 in November, and it went all the way up to $94 from this little fallen wedge here at $50, honestly. I mean, it just kind of kept going. Kind of slowed down and then jumped another $25 or so. But now it's coming down. So we could have a double top where it just bottoms out, or we could just go ahead and buy it raw. I mean, honestly, $85, once again, is it gonna drop to $50 again? I think something dramatic would have to happen to the TCG market for this thing to drop back down to 50. Kind of like what happened in November of 2023, where it's kind of like I guess you could say a bear market. I mean, I guess there ain't no guess. It was a bear market for Pokemon. And I don't want to say we're in a bull market right now, but we're in a fair market, I think. Maybe the bull market, the bull run just happened with all the crazy alt-art stuff, and we're kind of leveling out, but there could definitely be another level to this. I think this is a good part to buy raw and hold. Maybe sell it when it gets a little bit higher, rebuy when it retraces, make you some money, and keep a card, pretty much. And now we have the Mew Vmax from Fusion Strike, and it's coming in at $87 ungraded, 1 sale per day. A grade 8 is $55, and a PSA 10 is coming in at $185 at 1 sale per day. So not terrible. This thing had another, once again, pretty much a falling wedge. It went up, went down, $49.50. I do not think this card reaches $50 again. I mean, I think at least this thing gets down to probably a 70, probably fluctuates. Maybe 52 is a bottom that it could touch and kind of bounce off that and retrace off that, but I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I don't see this thing going much lower, but I will say it is a VMAX, it is a Mew. I'm gonna go ahead and slide it up into need it in a 10, just like the Mew V, because of how popular Pokemon is. Now we got the big boy from Crown Zenith. We got the gold Giratina Vstar Alt-Art, which is just a beautiful card. I love this card. It's coming in at $100 ungraded, 1 sale per day. Grade A is $72 and a PSA 10 is $240 at 1 sale per day. That's kind of high for me on a PSA 10, but honestly, it's only $150 more than the raw, so it's not like crazy. It's a pretty solid card though. For me, this is a no-brainer. You got to put it and need it in a 10, even though the price is a little bit higher. But obviously, you want this, and even the Palkia in a 10. Obviously, I said that we was gonna look at them as an individual standpoint, but it's also hard not to look at the entire picture. Get it? But even individually, these cards are really great, really solid. Now we're looking at one of the more interesting cards from the Sword and Shield era. This is the shiny Charizard V from Champion's Path. This thing's coming in at $128 ungraded, 1 sell per day. A grade 8 is $112, and a PSA 10 is $250 at 1 sell per day. Guys, this is another one, and I know this is crazy because I'm a Blastoise boy. You know, I'm a Blasty boy. But you can't deny the fact that Zards produce money. I mean, that's just all there is to it. And when you take into account how hard this card is to pull, because Champion's Path has terrible pull rates, and the set sucks, but it's still worth money, you gotta throw this thing in the Holy Grail. I think this thing is going to be huge later on. I swear to you, I really do. I think this thing was going to outperform a lot of cards on this list, especially once we get further and further and further away. This thing is going to do wonders later on down the road, especially if you have it in a 10. It's going to outperform almost everything. Now we have the Charizard V Alt Art from Brilliant Stars, and it's coming in at 135 ungraded, 2 sales per day. A grade 8 is 126, and a PSA 10 is 295 at 2 sales per day. This thing has had a wild ride itself. It was doing very, very well, and it's fallen. Honestly, it doesn't even look like it fell into like a hard wedge. It looks like it was just kind of trading sideways until the Alt Art craze kind of happened again. Jumped all the way up to 172, and this thing is down quite a bit, honestly. Normally, I would say when you're up that high and you drop that low, this is probably a good time to buy it raw, and maybe it is, but I think this thing is definitely worthy of a 10. You thought I was going to put it in Holy Grail because I just put a bunch of Charizards there. The Alt Art, I think, it's a phenomenal card. It's one of my favorite cards in Sword and Shield. But I think when you throw into effect, Brilliant Stars is still pretty available. You can still get it really pretty natural almost everywhere. I mean, even us, like, being a very, very small store, we have Brilliant Stars sleeve packs at that. So, I mean, it's just, I don't think it's as hard to achieve as the shiny Charizard V. And even to some standards, the Vmax, just because of Shining Face increasingly getting further and further away. But I do think this at a 10 is a no-brainer. Here is another card from Sword and Shield era that just still does not want to be pulled by us. This is the Tyranitar V from Battle Styles. I love this card, the Sleepy Tar. 127 ungraded, 1 sell per day. A grade 8 is $100, and a PSA 10 is looking solid at 270 at 1 sell per day. And this one is 100% a victim of the Alt Art craze. Once again, it's not really a fallen wedge. It's just kind of sideways price action until boom, and then we're dropping, we're plummeting. We are plummeting. It got all the way up to 148, which is still solid for this card. I think this card should be, honestly, I think this card's undervalued because Battle Styles is relatively hard to get, and it is extremely hard to pull. So I think this thing should be a $200 card. I think this is severely undervalued. With all that being said, you can definitely buy this raw, get it graded, but I think you need it in a 10 because this is a big boy card. I think this is a very, very well-performing card in the future. And now we have the Lugia V Alt Art from Silver Tempest. And this bad boy is coming in at 175 ungraded, 2 sales per day. A grade 8 is 170, but a PSA 10 is sitting at 360 at 3 sales per day. Obviously, this card fell victim to a multitude of things. The God Packs watered it down. There was too many being pulled, and then for some reason, it got a huge spike. We all know the reason, the Alt Art craze that happened a few months ago, and it's just been riding this wave. The bubble popped, and now we're just kind of steady chilling. It does look like it's going to chill for a little bit and kind of trade sideways, so that's pretty good. This card, I think, this is a hard card to judge because of the God Packs. The God Packs change everything. We pulled ours from a God Pack. We're actually doing a Lugia bundle break this week. Hopefully you got your spot, $25, you know what I'm saying? 4 packs, whatever. Apparently that's a bad deal. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments if you think I'm an idiot. Either way, this Lugia V, it could perform well. It is flooded, but it's still an Alt Art from a extremely popular Pokemon. For me, I think this thing is a no-brainer. You need it in a 10. I don't know what the raw value holds. That's why we're offering whoever wins the Lugia this weekend to get graded for free, because the raw value, obviously the card's cool to have. it's obviously you want it in anybody's collection. But for an investing purpose, I think you'll get your money's worth more with a 10. Here's the Dragonite V. I absolutely love this card, and I had no understanding on why this card didn't pop off before, and it took all the alt art craziness to make it go pretty much nuts. This card's coming in at $140 ungraded, 2 sales per day. A grade 8 is $140, and a PSA 10 is $290 at 1 sale per day. So this thing also did not hit a falling. Well, it could have hit a falling wedge. It's hard to tell with this, the way this graph is, because it's not exactly like showing a bunch of stuff. It's just showing price points on days. It's not showing, more data that I would need. But I mean, it kind of looks like a falling wedge. But this right here, it is massively curving, like not a double top, but it may be even worse, a reverse cup and handle, which is not good. I mean, honestly, this thing is a little overpriced. I mean, I think it's a little overpriced. I think this is a $100 card, 100 to 125. So you're not too far off of the bubble though, honestly. I will say this one, I mean, I did just say it was overpriced, so I'm gonna throw it in the overpriced. I think this thing can come down for sure. I think it will come down. I think that it could come down to about $100 or so. Obviously the market, you never know, people manipulate it, people go crazy. I'm probably dead wrong and this thing skyrockets to 200, but that's why this is my list. So, And here we have the Charizard VMAX Rainbow from Champions Path. And this one is coming in at $122 ungraded, 1 sale per day. A grade 8 is $150 and a PSA 10 is $260 at 1 sale per day. And this card also was it was doing pretty well. Honestly, this card is severely undervalued. I think this is a $200 card easy right now. And honestly, it didn't get no price movement. It really didn't get affected at all by this. It almost looked like it tried to hit a falling wedge. This is where it all started to happen and went up. And instead of just going parabolic up to the $300 range, it decided not to and to continue to trade sideways. If you look at it, it looks like it's kind of descending down, and it could very well hit a falling wedge and just skyrocket, or it could just keep going down. I don't see it keep going down just because of how hard this card is to pull and how much more expensive Champions Path continues to get. For me, guys, I know this is another no-brainer holy grail for me. I mean, as a Blasty boy, like I said, this thing pains me to do, but it's just hard to argue against these three at these prices. I mean, you can get all three of these under $130. I mean, it's just absolutely insane for cards of this magnitude. Part of me feels like there's people in the market that purposely manipulate cards down and manipulate cards up. And I think that secretly on the back end, I think a lot of people's buying these three cards. I really do. Maybe not so much the shiny VMAX just because of how many's already out there. But the other two, I don't know, man. They don't get talked about a lot. And whenever people's not talking about a card that we all know has some grain to it, something's up, in my personal opinion. Now we have the Machamp V alt art from Pokemon Astral Radiance coming in at $140 ungraded, 1 sale per day. A grade 8 is $120 and a PSA 10 is coming in at $280 at 1 sale per day. So I like the PSA 10 price. I don't think that's too crazy. The raw value, I mean, look at this thing. This thing did not hit a falling wedge. This thing did not hit anything. It was just kind of trading sideways and then boom, craziness happened. But it is, whenever you have that circular type motion, sometimes that's even worse than just going straight up, unless it's like a meme card or something. But I mean, whenever you're going like this, sometimes that is no good. That is what could be on the other end of that. You know what I mean? So honestly, for me, this thing's kind of overpriced. I'm sliding this one as well into overpriced. That doesn't mean it's not a good investment. What that means is, I don't know if I would buy it right now. I don't know if this thing is going to stay in this bubble that it's at or drop to the next bubble. And now we have my personal favorite card from Chill and Rain. I know, it's not the Blaziken. It is the Glaring Moltres. And I swear to God, I don't have anything against Blaziken. I actually really like Blaziken as the second Pokemon I picked whenever I was playing Pokemon Emerald. I think it's Emerald, right? Yeah. Anyway, the Moltres V is coming in at $132 ungraded, 1 sale per day. A grade 8 is $117, and a PSA 10 is $280. And again, guys, it's got this circle of death right here. This thing really didn't do anything. Now, I will say, I mean, under 100, this thing is a sure thing, sure buy. I mean, there's no question. Like, the fact that it dropped down that low is just wild. But this, it got as high as what, 150? That's honestly a little fugazi there, because I was seeing this card sell for like 180, 190, which, I mean, I guess if you're holding it long term, it doesn't really matter what you buy in if you're buying now. But, you know, this thing to me, it's not overpriced that bad though. I mean, it's 100 to 125. It's not overpriced that bad. After further inspection of this card, I mean, it's probably about $8 or $9 overpriced, which it's not that bad. I don't see this card dropping below 100. I think this thing is definitely worthy of getting it in a 10. So the Umbreon V is coming in at $140 ungraded, 1 sale per day. The grade 8 is $130, and a PSA 10 is $310 at 1 sale per day. And guys, I mean, this thing isn't as wide as those other ones, but we all know what's going on here. There's no way I can buy this card at $140 when I'm knowing that the other ones are like 85 max. This one should be no more than 115-ish. I'll give it that. I mean, it's kind of high, bro. I will say $140 compared to the $115 price mark that I said, it's not that bad, but still, again, I think this thing is overpriced. And what I want to clarify this, I'm not saying that these are not good cards. What I'm saying is, I don't know if I would mess with them right now. Obviously, if you have any of these cards in a 10, you obviously hold. If you have any of them raw, you obviously hold. What I'm saying is, I don't know if I would do anything with these right now other than just kind of watch the market and see what happens. Now we have the Blaziken Vmax from Chilling Reign. It's coming in at $300 ungraded, 1 sale per day. Grade 8 is $138, and a PSA 10 is $455 at 1 sale per day. And this thing is kind of looking like it's ready to go parabolic, man. I mean, this thing was $150 in March. That's wild. Now that was severely undervalued. I mean, at 280, I think it's pretty much at the right point. But once again, what's 20 bucks between 280 and 300? And it looked like it dropped, but this thing's not, it doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon. Obviously, like I said, with everything else, anything can happen. With this one, I think this one is a no-brainer. Obviously, I don't know if I'd buy it right now, but I would definitely want this thing in a 10. The PSA 10 price is probably going to keep going up on this. I don't see the 10 price dropping. And now we have this Sylveon VMAX Alt-Art from Pokemon Evolving Skies, and this bad boy is coming in at $195 ungraded, 1 sale per day. A grade 8 is $119, and a PSA 10 is $300 at 1 sale per day. And this thing has actually performed pretty remarkably, honestly, because this obviously it got some help from the craze, but dude, it just kind of climbed and stayed. I mean, now that is a true definition of trading sideways. Or we could look at this a month from now and be like, no, this was the top, and it'd just be a sharp point and straight down. So I mean, it could go either way with this, but this thing has done pretty well. Honestly, I feel like I remember this card being worth a lot more than these price points here, but I don't know. All right, for the Sylveon VMAX, I think this one is 100% one that you need in a 10. I think it is really, really well. I love this card. I think a lot of people enjoy this card. I think it's going to perform pretty well. And now we have the Espeon VMAX Alt-Art from Fusion Strike. Everybody knows what happened to this card, and the Gengar for that matter, where those idiots stole all of them, and the population seemingly is pretty low on these. So this thing's coming in at $220 ungraded at 1 sale per day. Grade 8 is $170. The PSA 10 is $370 at 1 sale per day. And this thing does almost look like it kind of hit a falling wedge where it was just kind of trending down, and boom, obviously it got the help from the Alt-Art craze, and then it exploded up, and it doesn't look like a tight circle. It kind of looks like we're going to bounce around the $200 mark, I think is what it kind of looks like. You never know though, because we are kind of in a free fall right now, so we have to wait and see. This thing is 100% needed in a 10, no question about that at all. Now we have one of the best looking cards in Evolving Skies, the Glaceon VMAX Alt-Art, coming in at $230 ungraded, 1 sale per day. Grade 8 is $125, and a PSA 10 is $331. And honestly, this thing has been rocking, and it does not, this is another one that does not look like it's slowing down anytime soon. This thing could hit 250, 275 within a matter of a month or so, maybe even before that. Or we can retrace all the way back. It ain't hitting that. We could retrace back down. I could see it hitting 170. I could see it dropping down to 170. Honestly, it's in a pretty large bubble right now. Ugh. I could see 170. I don't see 130. I don't see that one at all. For me, this one is definitely, I need this bad boy in a 10. Now we have this bad boy, the Gengar VMAX Alt-Art from Fusion Strike, coming in at $300 ungraded, 2 sales per day. A grade 8 is $227. A PSA 10 is $600 at 2 sales per day. That is wild that somebody's buying this at $600 twice a day. I don't blame them, because I would too. But this bad boy is coming in at, I mean, this is just highway robbery at 186. It's not getting below that again. I don't see that happening. There's no way this card drops below 200 again, ever. Unless something just absolutely bonkers happens. It does, I mean, honestly, it went all the way up. And now we're doing this. We could get a double top, which would be really bad. And it could drop, I'd say 214. I think 214 is a solid price point. I like that price point. It's a little overpriced right now, I'd say. It's a little overpriced. This one is 100% needed in a 10. It's a Gengar, it's an Alt-Art. There's probably like 10 in the world because some idiot stole all of them. Obviously, I'm exaggerating. Chill, don't kill me in the comments. Now we have my son's favorite card in all of Sword and Shield is the Leafeon VMAX Alt-Art, and we still need this card. And it's coming in at $230 ungraded at 1 sell per day. The grade 8 is 170, and a PSA 10 is 375 at 1 sell per day. And this thing absolutely skyrocketed all the way. I mean, it was at, let's see, February this year is at $128. That's when I should have bought that card. Actually, you know what? I tried to get my son to let me buy it for his birthday, but he said he wanted a Hidden Fates and Shining Legends ETB instead. Obviously, he pulled the Mewtwo from Shining Legends, so it was kind of cool. But he could have got this card for $130. Now, it got all the way up to $280. Man, it's dropping though, for sure. Obviously, it's at $236. I mean, I will say this. I don't see this card dropping below, what is that price point? Probably like 175-ish. I mean, it had to be pretty bearish to drop below 175. We'd have to be in pretty bad shape. For me, this thing is absolutely needed in a 10. You know what's crazy with this card? I have no idea why it's worth so much money. Now, granted, I did pull this thing, well, my son pulled this thing week 1 of Lost Origins release, but I just don't see it's a nice card. Don't get me wrong. I can't pay $700 for this thing. I just can't do it. Kudos to you. Maybe I'm making a bad decision. I got one though, so that also probably, you know, plays in a part there. But this Giratina V Alt-Art from Lost Origins is coming in at $355 ungraded at 2 sales per day. A grade 8 is $350 as well, and a PSA 10 is $723 at 2 sales per day. I mean, this thing really just kind of messed around, moseyed around. And now this one was a huge jump from $250. I'm sure people were buying it for $500. I'm sure they were. The PSA 10 price is what's crazy. And I guess whenever this starts going up, this naturally goes up, right? Whenever this goes up, that doesn't always mean that this goes up, if that makes sense. I'm not saying it never happens, but that just because this goes up does not mean that this goes up. When this goes up, it usually means this goes up because people are trying to buy and grade. Obviously, this one I need it in a 10 for sure. The Rayquaza VMAX Alt-Art from Evolving Skies is coming in at $400 ungraded, 1 sell per day. A grade 8 is $290, and a PSA 10 is $566 at 2 sales per day. That's kind of crazy that this, here we go. This case in point right here, $400 ungraded. It is more than the Giratina ungraded, but the PSA is $200 less. And this thing here, at 400, I mean it was at 230. I mean this thing could drop back to about 325-ish. I don't see it dropping below 300 because again, with Evolving Skies, a lot of these other sets, it's just going to get harder and harder to find. So obviously we're going to end up hitting we're going to have new bottoms, right? Obviously, if an asteroid hits tomorrow, this thing is going to be worth nothing. But you know, anything can happen. This is another one to need it in a 10 for sure. And now we are looking at the most expensive card in Sword and Shield, the Umbreon VMAX Alt-Art from Evolving Skies. And this thing is ridiculously coming in at $775 ungraded at 1 sell per day. A grade 8 is $660, and a PSA 10 is $1,200. So my card is still holding value, baby, even though we're never going to sell it, but still. Now this thing is very interesting. You see what happened here. Kind of humble boom, and then we went up, We went down and then we kind of traded sideways, but we were kind of going up the whole time until we get in this weird funk of 2023 that even this thing, I don't think you'll never see this price again. I don't think below 500. You will never see that. I don't think. You're going up. I mean, this thing can still run. As crazy as that sounds, it can still run. I mean, it bounced off of 735 like it was nothing. So, and I know I'm kind of looking at it as like a stock or crypto, but honestly, it kind of, a lot of it, there's a lot of similarities, obviously. At 735, man, I mean, that could be your new low. I mean, that could be your new low. Obviously, it could retrace to 600 or so. I don't know if we see 587 because I don't know if people will let it drop that far. I just don't see it happening. For me, this thing is freaking dog water. I'm just playing. This thing is obviously overpriced. I mean, it's just $775 for an Umbreon trying to reach the moon. It's just bananas. I mean, there's just no way. There's just no way. But then again, I have a PSA 10, so I could need it in a 10. That's where I'm gonna put it at, honestly, guys. I'm just joking with you. It's definitely needed in a 10, no question about it. And apparently, after I posted this video, I didn't know this, but it's really easy to get these in a 10. I had no idea. But apparently they pass out PSA 10s like they do flyers at a basketball game. I had no idea, but apparently they do. That's gonna do it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is one of the longer videos I've ever done. I actually put a lot of work in this. It took me like 3 weeks to come up with all these numbers, all for it to fall flat because the market crashed, sort of. But, you know, it is what it is, man. I should have got it out sooner. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The next one I'll probably do, if this one does well and you guys seem interested, is maybe the top 25 products of the Sword and Shield era, and then I'll probably just rank the sets to close out Sword and Shield for good, and then move on to Sun and Moon. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know it's been a while since I've done a tier list, just life's been crazy. I appreciate it, guys. I love every single one of you. I hope all of you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Make sure you check out Sunday's Lugia break at PokeFactoryShop.com. PokeFactory out. Peace!